I hope this video helps. Please check out the playlist Evidence for Christianity, Evidence for the Bible, End Times, and the Book of Revelation. I'll leave links in the description for all four. Enjoy. I also want to give a shout out to the Legendary DIY channel for helping me with this video. If you have any plumbing questions, you can go to their channel. I'll leave a link in the description for that. So if you got a Moen faucet in your bathroom that is leaking between the faucet and the handle, or out of the front when it's off, if it's just got a constant drip, then you may have a bad cartridge. I'll show you how to replace it. Let's go ahead and shut the water off and then drain it, and then we'll take this thing apart. So these things, you just pull them to shut the water off. Now that the water's off, go ahead and open it up to relieve the pressure. So I'm going to start taking this thing apart. I got a 3/32 Allen wrench here. There's a hole in the back you can get it into. And then line that thing up. There it goes. Alright, so let's take the cartridge out, and I'm going to start with the hot side because both sides were leaking a little bit, and let's see what the cartridge looks like. So I got this nut on top, got my alligator pliers, and it's a little tight. There we go. Alright, that's out. So this is a bit tight, but if you wiggle and pull up, it is very slowly coming. There we go. And just so I can inspect down in there, I'm going to dry out the water. And everything looks okay down in there. So the cold water side was quite difficult to get off. There's a lot of corrosion. But anyway, it eventually came off. I found that I was grabbing the whole thing with the alligator pliers, but when I moved it up and only kind of grabbed half of it at the top part, that's when it loosened up finally and was able to get it off. So that might help you. So once I got the cold water side out, I noticed after I dried it out inside there, the rubber part on the bottom, the rubber seal on this cold one is missing, and it was down inside there. So just get your needle nose down in there and grab it. There it is. So this cold water side is definitely bad. I'm going to replace both of them. So here's my two cartridges. It's the Moen 1234. I'll leave a link in the description for that. And got some steel wool to clean the threads. Also got some silicone grease that I'm going to put on the threads of the nut that goes to hold the to hold the cartridge in, because it got all corroded and was hard to get off. So I want to get that. And you want to use this type of grease and not anything else, because this will not deteriorate your O-rings. Just a quick overview on how this cartridge works. It's got these two tabs on either side that go into the faucet to keep it aligned and keep it in place. And it doesn't matter which way it goes, it can be flipped over either way, mainly because it has a opening to the valve on both sides, and it can also go, the hot and cold are both interchangeable. And this valve stem, the entire valve spins 360 degrees. You can just keep spinning it and open, close, open, close, open, close. And how do you know when it's closed? So it's in the closed position now, is right there when it's parallel with these tabs is a closed position. So there's two flat sides to this stem, and it doesn't matter which flat side is facing you when you put it in, that means it's closed. So then you know how to position your handle when you're putting the handle back on. So if you position this to where the flat side's facing you, it doesn't matter which flat side, the valve's closed, so put the handle on like it's in the closed position. So you can also put a thin layer of the silicone grease on the O-ring for the cartridge. Put a little bit on there and then smear it around. Help it seal, help it slide in there. Alright, so I'm just simply going to slide them in. There's no real way to screw this up because you got some notched out parts on there, and then you got the parts that go into the notched out parts on here. So it's going to go out in there and go flush. There we go. Alright, it's down there flush. And then for this one, I'm just going to use the steel wool to kind of buff up the threads, get some of that corrosion off of there. You can use a steel brush also. Alright, so now I got my silicone grease here. I'm just going to put some just on the threads. Not a whole lot. Just so it'll work its way down. Put it on the back side too. As I screw on the thing, on the nut that holds down the cartridge. So that should help it not seize up this time and keep the corrosion out. Alright, now tighten them down. They don't need to be super tight because they are a pretty thin nut. Just tight enough to where it's nice and snug. So with the valves, you want to turn those so that the flat side is facing you. And now let's put our handles on. And these can only go on one way. Can't really screw that up too much. There we go. So make sure that they're working correct before you tighten them down. Alright, let's see if we have a leak still. Alright, everything looks good. No water collection around the base. I also took the handles off again just to see if any water collected in here. So now that we're done, I ran it for a while and shut it off and let it sit for a while, and there's no leaks coming out between the faucet and the handle, and there's no drips out the front while it's off. So we're good. If this video helped you and you want to support me and my channel, just join Robinhood using the link in the description. That way you get a free stock and I get a free stock. And if you have any questions, just leave a comment. If you want to connect with me, I have a public group called Share Your Trade on MeWe. I'll leave that link in the description as well. You can share pictures and videos and ask me questions on there as well. Thanks for watching.